Hi, welcome to Moina Bass Fishes. This is Jim Moina. And here I am this is the Plattsburgh RV Park and Mosquito Sanctuary here on Lake Champlain. I'll be here for the next few weeks. This lake's about to get throttled by fishing pressure because we got the MLF Pro Circuit tournament here. Practice starts for that tomorrow. And the tournament starts, this is kind of odd dates, but it's 4-day tournaments. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then 2 weeks after, a week and a half after that, is the Toyota Series tournament here, which I've entered. And then in between that, on the weekend, well, I just found this out. My buddy Jim Tutt informed me of this, but there's also a BFL tournament out here. So the fish in this lake are seriously going to get throttled, absolutely throttled. So I don't know. That's kind of be interesting. But anyways, the drive here from Fort Francis, Ontario, on Rainy Lake. It's a full 2 days drive for me. Put in a bunch of time yesterday. And I just let Google Maps tell me where to go, and I learned my lesson because I've made that drive once before from Fort Francis over to here, and I remember swinging north of Lake Superior through a town called Long Lock or Loch Long, and then a town called Hearst, I remember. And then eventually I'd come down and I'd swing down through Timmins, and I think I'd come out North Bay and then on over through Ottawa and over. Well, I just did whatever Google told me last night, and we went through the town of Hearst, started coming this down southeast a little bit, and then it told me to go east further. And so I'm like, all right, we'll go this way. It took me into the middle of nowhere late at night, and if you're in the middle of nowhere in Canada, that means there's nobody. I mean, it's literally, I'd see a car coming my way, towards me. About every 10 minutes I'd see a car coming towards me. That's how little activity there was. And needless to say, at that time of night, there was no gas stations. Okay, I didn't run out of gas, but I ended up just parking at a gas station, which in the morning I found out is like a old gas station that's no longer in service. So it still had the pumps there, but it had no hoses on there. And of course, last night I didn't really even pay attention to that. I was just trying to figure out where I was going to park in that. So yeah, so woke up this morning, got on the road at about 8 after going to bed at about 1 the night before, and got here to cross the border here in the U.S. at about, 6:30, which it was amazing. The border crossing was super easy. They only had like 3 or 4 booths open. I've made this border crossing before here just north of Plattsburgh. It's in between Montreal. You come straight south out of Montreal at this border crossing. And I mean, usually I'm waiting like at least a half hour, but I just drove right up to the officer and answered his questions and was on my way. So that was pretty cool. But then it's been hectic, man, because from there, then I had to get down to the campground, order my fishing license, set up the camper, get a few things situated, and now here it is, like 10:30 at night practically. So, and I haven't even touched my tackle, so that's going to be tomorrow's job. I'll probably put the boat in. I mean, I've got everything I need in there, so I'll put the boat in and then just I'll probably pull out like 3/4 of my rods and just set them all over the boat, and or half of them anyways, and then just if I see a need to rig something, then I shall rig it. So, but a lot of stuff's I got a lot of stuff just carried over from the previous few tournaments I've done that are already set up. So, but my maps aren't set up. I got to get the right map chip in there. I got to upload my waypoints. I keep backup. I keep all my waypoints for each lake on a backup disc thingamy bob. So I got to do that, get that loaded up, and I got to remove the waypoints from Rainy Lake, because you don't want to carry too many waypoints on your units, because that's just more data the processor has to handle. That's what I've been told, and it just can kind of slow the processor down. The more trails and the more waypoints you have on there, that's just the slower your processor will deal with it. That's what I've been told. So I just, every time I go to a new tournament lake, I erase everything out. I save everything that I got from the last lake, and then wipe the unit clean of all waypoints, all trails, and then I upload the lake that I'm going to currently be fishing. So I'll be uploading Lake Champlain. So anyways, yeah, so we got 2 days to practice. This is our last tournament in the MLF Pro Circuit. I'm in 34th in the points. You want to be top 48 to make the championship. So I'm going to fish this one conservatively, because doing the math, I did the math, and according to my calculations, a 90th place or better will put me in the championship. Anything worse than 100 is a complete disaster. Anything between 90 and 100 is a bubble, meaning I could be out by a couple points or in by a couple points. So 90th place or better is pretty much almost a lock. For sure 80th place is a lock. 90th is probably like a 95% lock. 100th is just flip a coin. So, but yeah, so that means, I have 155 guys. I still got to beat 155 guys. It's not a gimme at all. I've got to get. It's not a gimme at all. So I got to go out there, get on the fish, catch them, put them in the boat, get them back to weigh in, and they got to be decent sized fish. So, like I said, I'm going to fish conservatively, and what that means is, I'm not going to make the big run down to Ticonderoga. Just not going to mess with that. I don't. I've only done that like once in any tournament. So I'm just going to write that off. So everything I'm going to be concerned with is going to be on the north half of the system. So, we're looking at anything from just south of Plattsburgh on north all the way up to Rouse's Point or Missisquoi Bay. And so that includes, Rouse's Point, Missisquoi Bay, Mallett's Bay, Inland Sea, and just the, main lake proper between Plattsburgh and Rouse's Point up in there. So, yeah, that's a lot of water. I'm going to have to cut that down even more for, you can't cover all that in 2 days of practice by no means. So, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning in one direction, but I'm going to hold that tight to myself right now. And other than that, there were some loose ends I wanted to talk about at Rainy Lake. That it's not going to happen right now. Just getting out here from Rainy Lake to here was time consuming. And the other thing is, what's really cool about that drive is my cell service does not carry Canada. So I'm pretty much, as soon as I leave Fort Frances, because when I'm in Fort Frances, I can still pick up the International Falls, Minnesota towers. But as soon as I leave Fort Frances, which is like 20 minutes, once I drive 20 minutes from there, I'm offline on my cell phone, and so that's actually kind of, it's interesting. It's different. I'm not used to it. Obviously in the old days that's how it always was, but that means no phone calls, no looking up things on Google, no. You got to make sure you plot your Google Maps before you leave Fort Frances, because you got to plot it in while you're online, and then hopefully it holds in, which it didn't. and my Google Maps did not hold the course. It got me all the way to last night, then partway through this morning, and then it lost. For some reason, it crashed. So there I'm in the middle of Quebec, where I've never been before, and you know, I just know I have to go southeast. That's all I knew. So luckily luckily there ain't a whole lot of roads, and I had a little common sense, and I still had a paper map like buried in my truck. So I pulled out the paper map, pulled out the reading glasses, and kind of got an idea of what I needed to do to get down to Montreal, and Montreal down to the border. So that was a little bit, a little bit of cause for anxiety. And last night too, because there was no gas. I mean, you don't know what you're getting into. I mean, seriously, there was like not even other roads to turn off of. I was on this road. The only thing I was seeing for an hour was an occasional road and a gate that would go up to a mine of some kind. So, and I don't know where. It was just, it's a different existence up that way, that's for sure. It's just different existence, different culture, really. And then not only that, so, I don't have my music listened to, I don't have people to talk to on the phone, so I turn into the radio, and at times I got no signal on AM or FM at times. And but at the other times I pull in a signal, I listen to what the locals are talking about on Canadian talk radio and this and that, and I learned that the Pope was visiting Canada to apologize and for the atrocities the Catholic Church conducted on the Indigenous people of Canada. So that was interesting to hear some of the debates about that and people talking about that, but that's a whole nother issue. Sad story, really. But at least he's came out to apologize. I mean, a lot of people want the Catholic Church to do more than that, but that's what I was listening to for a couple hours. So interesting debate, anyways. Other than that, I got smallmouth and largemouth to think about on Champlain, and I got to get some sleep, so this little session is over.